Have you ever wondered what it really takes to become one of the world's most respected special operations soldiers? Most people picture Navy SEALs jumping from helicopters, conducting dangerous maritime missions, or carrying out high-risk operations in some of the most challenging environments on Earth. Those moments may be the most visible part of their profession, but they represent only the final result of a journey that begins years earlier. Long before someone earns the right to wear the famous SEAL trident, they must prove themselves through months of demanding training, constant evaluation, and an unwavering commitment to improvement. Every stage is designed to measure far more than physical strength. Candidates are tested for discipline, adaptability, teamwork, decision-making, leadership potential, and the ability to remain calm under extreme pressure. The journey does not begin in the ocean. It does not begin with underwater diving. It does not begin with parachute jumps. Instead, it begins with an ordinary person making an extraordinary decision. Every U.S. Navy SEAL starts as a volunteer. No one is born wearing the SEAL trident. Every operator, regardless of experience or reputation, once stood exactly where every new candidate stands today, facing uncertainty while choosing to pursue one of the most demanding military career paths in the world. Before a candidate ever arrives at basic underwater demolition SEAL training, better known as BUDS, they must first qualify to join the United States Navy, meet strict eligibility standards, complete military recruit trainings, and prepare themselves both physically and mentally for the challenges ahead.
Many people believe BUDS alone creates a Navy SEAL. The reality is far more complex. BUDS is only one chapter in a much longer process. Candidates who successfully complete BUDS continue through additional phases of specialized instruction, including advanced combat diving, land warfare, parachute training, and SEAL qualification training before they are finally awarded the Naval Special Warfare Trident. Even then, the journey is far from over. Earning the Trident is not considered the finish line. It marks the beginning of a professional career built upon continuous learning, operational readiness, teamwork, and responsibility. Every SEAL is expected to maintain exceptionally high standards throughout their service, constantly improving the skills that allow naval special warfare units to operate in maritime, desert, Arctic, jungle, and urban environments around the world. Although Navy SEAL training is widely recognized for its physical difficulty, experienced instructors consistently emphasize that success depends on far more than strength alone. Technical competence, emotional control, sound judgment, resilience, and the willingness to support teammates often prove just as important as endurance itself. Throughout every stage of training, candidates learn that individual talent is never enough. Missions depend on trust. Teams depend on reliability. Leadership depends on humility. Small decisions made under pressure can influence the outcome of far larger objectives. That philosophy shapes every part of the training pipeline. From the first day of military service to the moment a candidate earns the SEAL Trident, every lesson is intended to build the mindset required to perform under conditions where preparation, discipline, and teamwork matter more than personal recognition. In this documentary, we'll follow the complete publicly available training pipeline of how someone becomes a U.S. Navy SEAL, from volunteering for military service and entering the United States Navy, through Recruit Training Command, Naval Special Warfare Preparatory School, BUDS, parachute training, and SEAL qualification training, before finally joining an operational SEAL team. This documentary is based on publicly available information and is intended for educational purposes, providing an overview of the training, standards, and professional development that shape one of the world's most recognized special operations communities.
What exactly makes the U.S. Navy SEALs different from other military units? The answer begins with their mission. The name SEAL stands for sea, air, and land, reflecting the three primary environments in which these operators are trained to conduct missions. Unlike conventional military units that often specialize in only one operational environment, Navy SEALs are prepared to operate across a wide variety of conditions, adapting to changing situations wherever they may be required. Naval Special Warfare units are expected to perform missions that demand exceptional preparation, teamwork, and flexibility. Depending on operational requirements, These missions may involve maritime operations, reconnaissance, direct action, special reconnaissance, counterterrorism support, personnel recovery, or other specialized tasks assigned by national command authorities. Because these responsibilities can take place in coastal waters, open oceans, dense forests, mountainous terrain, deserts, Arctic regions, or heavily populated urban environments, every SEAL must develop a broad range of technical and tactical skills throughout their career. However, possessing these skills is only part of the profession. Success depends equally on discipline, communication, trust, and the ability to work effectively within a small team. Every operator must understand that individual performance directly affects the safety and success of everyone around them. A single mistake, poor decision, or breakdown in communication can have serious consequences during complex operations. For that reason, naval special warfare places enormous emphasis on teamwork from the very beginning of training. Candidates quickly learn that physical fitness alone will never guarantee success. Throughout every phase of the selection and training pipeline, instructors constantly evaluate how individuals respond to stress, solve problems, support teammates, and maintain sound judgment when facing uncertainty. Many highly athletic candidates arrive believing physical strength will carry them through training. Many discover that determination, adaptability, humility, and resilience often become even more important. The training environment is intentionally designed to expose weaknesses, challenge confidence, and encourage continuous improvement rather than perfection.
Mistakes are expected. Learning from those mistakes is essential. The goal is not simply to identify the strongest individuals. It is to develop professionals capable of making responsible decisions while operating under demanding physical and mental conditions. This philosophy shapes every stage of the journey. Whether candidates are learning military fundamentals, navigating open water, conducting land warfare exercises, or leading teammates through complex scenarios, they are continually expected to demonstrate professionalism, accountability, and self-discipline. By the time someone earns the Naval Special Warfare Trident, they are expected to represent far more than technical competence. They represent a commitment to excellence, integrity, humility, teamwork, and lifelong professional development. These qualities define the standard expected of every Navy SEAL throughout their career. Understanding these expectations helps explain why the journey to becoming a Navy SEAL is recognized around the world as one of the most demanding military training pipelines ever developed. Before any candidate can begin that journey, however, they must first meet the qualifications required to volunteer for Naval Special Warfare. That is where every future Navy SEAL truly begins. Before anyone can begin the path toward becoming a U.S. Navy SEAL, they must first meet a series of eligibility requirements. These standards exist long before a candidate ever arrives at BUD/S, and many people discover that the process of qualifying begins months before formal training starts. The first requirement is volunteering for Naval Special Warfare. Every future SEAL must choose to pursue the opportunity. No one is automatically assigned to the training pipeline. Candidates must also meet the Navy's enlistment standards, including medical qualifications, background screening, and academic requirements. Recruiters evaluate whether an applicant is eligible for military service before Naval Special Warfare consideration can even begin. One of the most important early evaluations is the physical screening test, commonly known as the PST. This test measures swimming ability, push-ups, sit-ups, pull-ups, and running performance. The official minimum standards are only the starting point. Competitive candidates often aim for significantly stronger scores before entering the pipeline. For many applicants, the swim is the first major challenge. Unlike traditional fitness tests that focus primarily on running and calisthenics, Naval Special Warfare places heavy emphasis on water confidence. Candidates must become comfortable performing in the ocean, in pools, and while working around diving equipment. Strong swimming technique can be just as important as raw endurance. Medical screening is equally important. Vision standards, hearing, cardiovascular health, and overall physical condition are carefully evaluated. Certain medical conditions may require additional review, while others can prevent entry into the program entirely.
The goal is to ensure that candidates can safely complete the demanding training ahead. Character and conduct also matter. Naval Special Warfare seeks individuals who can be trusted with significant responsibility. Background checks, legal history, and overall conduct are considered during the enlistment process. Technical ability alone is not enough. Professionalism and reliability are expected from the very beginning. Many future candidates spend months preparing before they ever sign a contract. They improve their swimming, increase running endurance, build upper body strength, and learn proper recovery habits. Some train with former military members or organized preparation groups. Others prepare on their own, gradually building the fitness needed to compete for a training slot. Even with strong preparation, selection remains competitive. Passing the minimum requirements does not guarantee a place in the Naval Special Warfare pipeline. Candidates must demonstrate both physical potential and the commitment required for one of the military's most demanding training programs. For those who meet the standards and volunteer for the challenge, the next step is entering the United States Navy itself. That is where the journey officially begins.
For every future U.S. Navy SEAL, the journey officially begins long before the first day of Special Operations training. It begins with a decision to serve. Before a candidate can attend Naval Special Warfare training, they must first become a member of the United States Navy. Every SEAL starts their career the same way, by volunteering for military service and beginning the enlistment process. The first step is meeting with a Navy recruiter. During these initial meetings, recruiters explain the responsibilities of military service, discuss available career opportunities, and determine whether an applicant meets the basic qualifications for enlistment. Candidates interested in Naval Special Warfare also learn about the additional standards required for the SEAL training pipeline and the level of commitment expected from those who volunteer. One of the next major steps is completing the Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery, more commonly known as the ASVAB. This standardized examination measures knowledge and problem-solving abilities across several subjects, including mathematics, science, reading comprehension, and mechanical reasoning. The results help determine eligibility for different military career fields, including opportunities within Naval Special Warfare. After completing the required testing, applicants report to the Military Entrance Processing Station, often referred to simply as MAPS. Here, every applicant undergoes a detailed medical examination designed to ensure they meet the physical standards required for military service. Doctors evaluate vision, hearing, cardiovascular health, mobility, and overall medical fitness while reviewing each applicant's medical history. Candidates also complete administrative processing, background documentation, and interviews that verify their eligibility to serve. For individuals pursuing the Naval Special Warfare pipeline, preparation does not stop after passing the medical examination. Many continue improving their swimming, running, strength, and overall conditioning while working toward competitive physical screening test scores. They understand that every improvement made before training increases their chances of success later in the pipeline. Once all enlistment requirements have been successfully completed, eligible applicants formally commit to military service by taking the oath of enlistment. Standing alongside other future sailors, they raise their right hand and promise to support and defend the Constitution of the United States while faithfully fulfilling the duties of military service. For many, the ceremony lasts only a few minutes. The commitment it represents lasts much longer. After taking the oath, recruits receive instructions regarding their upcoming departure for Recruit Training Command in Great Lakes, Illinois, the Navy's only boot camp. From this point forward, civilian routines begin to disappear. Departure dates are assigned. Travel arrangements are finalized. Family members prepare to say goodbye. Personal schedules become military schedules. For many future SEAL candidates, this is the first moment when the reality of their decision truly begins to sink in. The comfortable routines of civilian life are about to be replaced by structure, discipline, accountability, and the expectations of military service. Although the path toward becoming a Navy SEAL is still only beginning, every future operator must first prove that they can succeed as a United States sailor.
Only after completing Navy recruit training can they continue toward the demanding world of naval special warfare. The next stage of the journey takes every recruit to Great Lakes, Illinois, where they will begin learning the fundamentals of military life. There, discipline becomes routine, teamwork becomes essential, and the transformation from civilian to sailor truly begins.
Every future U.S. Navy SEAL must first learn to become a sailor. No matter how physically prepared a candidate may be, naval special warfare training does not begin immediately after enlistment. Before anyone can continue toward the SEAL pipeline, they must successfully complete Recruit Training Command, commonly known as Navy Boot Camp. Located at Great Lakes, Illinois, Recruit Training Command is the Navy's only boot camp and serves as the starting point for every enlisted sailor entering active service. For many recruits, the transition begins the moment they step off the bus. Civilian clothing is replaced with Navy uniforms. Personal belongings are processed and stored. Hair is cut to military standards. Medical records are verified once again. Every recruit is assigned to a training division and begins adapting to an environment where discipline, accountability, and teamwork quickly become part of everyday life. The first few days move rapidly. Recruits receive uniforms, boots, physical training gear, identification cards, and the equipment they will use throughout training. Simple routines that once required little thought now follow strict military procedures. Every movement has a purpose. Every instruction is expected to be followed immediately. Every detail matters. Life at Recruit Training Command follows a structured daily schedule. Most mornings begin before sunrise. Physical training, inspections, classroom instruction, drill practice, equipment maintenance, and practical exercises fill nearly every hour of the day. Recruits quickly discover that military service demands consistency rather than occasional effort. One of the primary goals of boot camp is building discipline. Recruits learn how to wear the Navy uniform correctly, maintain military appearance standards, organize their living spaces, and care for issued equipment. Attention to detail becomes an essential habit rather than an occasional requirement. Physical fitness also remains an important part of daily life. Running, strength exercises, endurance training, and conditioning help recruits prepare for the physical demands of military service. For future SEAL candidates, boot camp is only the beginning of much greater physical challenges still to come. Because every sailor serves aboard ships at some point during their career, recruits also receive instruction in basic seamanship and naval customs. They learn military ranks, traditions, chain of command, core values, and the responsibilities expected of every member of the United States Navy. Another critical part of training focuses on damage control and firefighting. Throughout training, recruits also participate in classroom instruction covering military law, ethics, first aid, operational security, and Navy history. Unlike many civilian occupations, sailors must be prepared to respond immediately to emergencies while operating aboard naval vessels. Recruits practice controlling simulated shipboard fires, responding to flooding, and working together to protect both the ship and their fellow sailors during emergency situations. Swimming proficiency is equally important. Every recruit completes water survival training designed to ensure they can safely operate in aquatic environments. Although the advanced water confidence required for Navy SEAL training comes much later, boot camp establishes the basic swimming skills expected of every sailor entering the fleet. These lessons help build the professional foundation expected throughout a sailor's career. As the weeks pass, recruits gradually become more confident. Simple tasks that once seemed unfamiliar become routine. Individuals begin thinking less like civilians and more like members of a disciplined military team. Eventually, boot camp reaches its final stage. After successfully completing the required evaluations, inspections, physical standards, and practical exercises, recruits participate in a graduation ceremony marking the completion of Recruit Training Command. Family members gather to witness the occasion. For many graduates, it represents the successful completion of their first major milestone in military service. But for those pursuing naval special warfare,
Graduation is not the destination. It is simply the first step. While many newly graduated sailors now prepare to attend technical schools for their assigned Navy careers, future SEAL candidates continue toward an entirely different path. Their next destination is Naval Special Warfare Preparatory School, where the physical demands increase dramatically and preparation for BUDS truly begins. Graduating from Navy boot camp is a significant achievement. But for candidates pursuing Naval Special Warfare, it is only the beginning of a much more demanding journey. After completing Recruit Training Command, future SEAL candidates report to Naval Special Warfare Preparatory School, commonly known as NWP Prep. The purpose of this course is straightforward. It prepares candidates for the physical and mental demands they will soon face at basic underwater demolition/SEAL training, better known as BUDS. Rather than immediately placing candidates into one of the military's most challenging selection courses, Naval Special Warfare uses this preparation period to build stronger swimmers, faster runners, and more resilient athletes, while reinforcing the discipline expected throughout the pipeline. From the very first day, the pace increases. Training schedules become more demanding. Physical standards become higher. Candidates quickly realize that average performance is no longer enough. Every workout is designed to improve strength, endurance, speed, recovery, confidence. Swimming becomes one of the highest priorities. Many candidates arrive with strong fitness backgrounds, but limited experience in competitive swimming. At NWP Prep, they spend countless hours improving technique, efficiency, breathing control, and endurance in the water. Instructors emphasize that swimming is not simply about moving quickly. It is about remaining calm, conserving energy, and maintaining proper form under fatigue. Running receives equal attention. Long-distance endurance runs are combined with interval training, sprint work, and recovery exercises that gradually increase cardiovascular fitness. Each session is carefully structured to prepare candidates for the demanding running standards they will encounter during BUDS.
Strength and conditioning also become daily routines. Push-ups, pull-ups, sit-ups, bodyweight exercises, functional fitness, and mobility training are performed repeatedly throughout the course. Rather than focusing only on maximum strength, instructors emphasize balanced athletic performance and injury prevention. Recovery is treated as an essential part of training. Candidates learn that proper nutrition, hydration, stretching, sleep, and responsible recovery habits all contribute to long-term performance. Preparing for BUDS requires more than simply training harder. It requires training smarter. Throughout the course, candidates regularly complete physical screening tests to measure their progress. These evaluations allow instructors to identify strengths, weaknesses, and areas requiring additional improvement before candidates move forward. Many participants discovered that consistency becomes more important than occasional outstanding performances. Steady improvement earns greater confidence than unpredictable results. The mental side of preparation also begins to receive greater emphasis. Candidates learn to remain composed during physically exhausting workouts, manage discomfort without losing focus, and continue performing even when fatigue begins to affect decision-making. They quickly understand that future challenges will demand both physical endurance and emotional resilience. Perhaps the most important lesson taught during Naval Special Warfare Preparatory School is that preparation never truly ends. Every improvement made today increases the likelihood of success tomorrow. Every weakness ignored now may become a much larger problem during BUDS.
By the time candidates complete NSW Prep, they are stronger, faster, more confident, and significantly better prepared than when they first arrived. Yet they also understand something equally important. The hardest part of the journey has not even begun. Soon, they will report to Naval Amphibious Base Coronado in California. There, they will begin the selection course that has challenged generations of volunteers. Basic Underwater Demolition SEAL Training, better known around the world simply as BUDS.